What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I am back with an all new review of an all new show, Family Empire Houston. I'm a couple of episodes behind, but I did watch the first and second episode where we had the introduction to the family, how they got started, and how they want to continue generational wealth. There's some drama that's going to start in this family, and we're going to get into it in this third episode. So we have Jermisha, which is a part of the G2 generation. She is meeting up with top developers in Houston to see what she can come up with to tell her grandmother about the plans she has for developing this land, because her grandmother Oscarine owns this land, and her original plans was to sell the land and give the rest of the money to her children, which is a part of the G1 generation. Jermisha has a bigger plan in mind. That way it can provide wealth for all of the Braden family members, not just the first generation. We have her Aunt Nikki, who's a part of the G1 generation, come in and oversee everything. She's a real estate agent as well, but she also oversees her mother's estate. Nicole is a part of the plan as well. She's a part of the G2 generation with Jermisha, and she hasn't really been available because she's concerned about her grandmother, making sure her grandmother's wishes are met, they're respected, and if it's not going to make sense to her money-wise, she's not going to do it. Which is why she wants her to be involved so they can all come up with a plan. And since they are co-owners of the Braden Real Estate Group, she wants this to be a collaboration. She wants her to be involved in it. But if she's not going to move forward, she's going to still make her move. So they see the land. It's a beautiful land. And they can instantly picture a community of homes being built where you can rent, and it could be money coming in. So that way it can continue on with that generational wealth and continue on down the line. And about 20 or 30 homes could fit into that lot in about the $350,000 range. The square footage will be between 15 and 1,800. But the cost of developing on this land is between $7 to $10 million. That's a lot of money. So she's nervous that maybe everyone will not see her vision, but the return investment for this land will be well worth it. If you want to sell it for one solid price, other than making a big investment, paying for it to be built, and then once people start coming in and renting it, that can triple the value for the return. So she's concerned about the legacy in the future and wanting to make it affordable so people can live in it long term and make this a long term investment. So the developer's going to run the numbers and come with an exact plan so that her grandmother can understand. But Misha's taking shots at her aunt and her other aunts and uncles that grow with her mother, that their generation pretty much got off scot-free without having to work hard because Oscarine paid everything for them. She paid their bills. She sold a lot of property for them. They've never had to work for anything. And Auntie Nikki said, first of all, you out of line. Their mom sold one thing, and what wasn't she supposed to do? She wasn't supposed to bless her kids with what she sold. That's what parents do. They bless their children. So in the confessional, Auntie Nikki said, listen, we have never got anything for free. We worked for our parents our entire lives. So for Jermisha to feel like we're getting off scot-free, we're not earning the opportunity, we're just getting blessed with it. Like, you want this land, you got to work hard for it. And that be the killer thing when it comes to parents blessing their children. Like, it's not taking away the hard work. Because if parents want to bless you, they want to bless you. But we're going to move on. We have Nicole. She's a part of the G2 generation with Jermisha and Jaquita. They are sister cousins. She's at dinner with her mom, and she's having a conversation with her husband about wanting to have more children because Layden told her that she's feeling lonely, which is her daughter. And you know, this was something hard for her to talk about because she has never told anybody, not even her family members, not even her mother, how hard it was for her to have children. And in the confessional, she's crying, she's feeling all those emotions about wanting to have a kid so bad, but your body just won't work for you. So right when they're about to start in vitro, she ended up getting pregnant with her daughter naturally. So instead of her wanting to go through that song and dance of trying to get pregnant naturally, they're just going to consider adoption, which is a good idea. There's lots of children that needs homes, and if you are that family that can provide a home for a loved one or provide a home for a child in need to be loved, that's a beautiful thing. So knowing that this was something hard for her to express to her mom, because this was embarrassing. This was something very emotional to discuss, and not a lot of people are gonna not give good emotional support when you hear something like this. But her mom is like, you guys are so busy. You busy, your husband's busy. How you guys gonna have time for another kid? And this was a part of the first episode with Nicole and Larry. Larry works 12-hour shifts, I think, in a construction company, so he never really is around as much. He's always working, going to bed, working and going to bed. And they've also have gone through, I would say, some infidelity and trying to be better with communication, be better at being there for one another, be more connected. So that could be something. So I hope that Nicole is not trying to add another kid into the mix for her marriage to survive. But she said it's different for a sibling. It's like having that in-house best friend. More than just having a real best friend, than having a cousin as your best friend. I want her to have the real thing like she did. So since we're speaking about having best friends as siblings, what have been the improvements of her and Lakeisha's relationship? Lakeisha is Nicole's and Monet's half-sister. They have the same dad, different moms. And lately there's been a wall between Lakeisha and Nicole. I'm thinking it's due to the fact that Nicole is projecting her frustrations about why her dad cheated on her mom onto Lakeisha. And Lakeisha is innocent. She didn't ask to be here. So it's that secret but not so secret that everybody is acting towards Lakeisha, because in the first couple of episodes, Lakeisha has expressed about feeling left out. She is a part of the Braden family, but she doesn't feel included in the Braden family. They had their annual business photo shoot. She was Jaquita's husband's photo assistant, but she still was not involved in it. She still was not included in it. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to establish a better line of communication, have them bring her around, be more involved. And apparently, Lakeisha and Nicole are about 6 months apart. So that's something that needs to be addressed as well. When the mom was trying to address that there have been issues lingering before Lakeisha and Nicole was born, Nicole shut it down. She said, I don't want to talk about it. Yes, we have different moms. Yes, we're this. Yes, we're that. I don't want to talk about it. But if the mom is going to provide clarity, there have been some issues already lingering before you guys were born, it can now trickle down to why you treat Lakeisha the way you do. And you say in the confessional that your mom has never felt heard. She's never, really expressed how she had to deal with the fact that your dad cheated on her and had another woman pregnant at the same time that she was pregnant. So you can't do that. And in the first couple episodes, Nicole don't like to talk about the hard things. She walks away when situations get hard. But in this episode, she really talks about other people's problems and get the bottom of what they need to talk about. But when it comes to her, she hides it. She pretends like it doesn't matter. She pretends like it's not an issue. And that's how she did it to her mom. Why would you shut down the conversation about what could have been the issue between your parents? Is it because you don't want to admit that your dad did something wrong? Even though your mom is still with him to this day, but you're going to have to hold your dad accountable. It's not changing the way you see him. It's learning that your dad made a mistake. And he needs to admit that he made a mistake. But don't take out your frustrations or what your dad did onto Lakeisha. That's the problem that I'm getting. But we're going to move on from there. We have Misha. This is her first brunch back after having her son. And she wants to get her mojo back being the madam broker of the real estate group. They had a quick conversation about the plans of developing their grandmother's land, and Nicole is only focusing on her grandmother's wishes. Did you speak to grandmother? Did you see how she feels? Excuse me. And no, not yet, because in the second episode, she did get the okay from grandmother that she's not going to sell it to outside parties, and she's going to hold off until she gets another plan. And so Misha is feeling some type of way, knowing that she knows she can't make a move without her grandmother's wishes. She just wishes that Nicole would have her back more and would be able to see her vision the way that she does. But Nicole is about making sure her grandmother's feelings are being respected and heard, which I can understand. But if you have the same drive and the same vision as Jamisha do, it doesn't hurt to say, okay, so what's the plan? Okay, so what did you learn? It's okay. But here we go. Keisha comes in, to get her information because they want to buy a house. Her and her girlfriend want information on buying a house, and also her girlfriend Caramel is in real estate. So considering the fact that she has been feeling left out, she wants to be more involved, and maybe since her girlfriend is a real estate agent, maybe she could think about working for the Braden Group. Now, Misha gave a little pep talk to her agents about how it's important being black women getting involved in real estate. Is important for us to take charge in this. We are successful. We are a part of a top selling real estate group. And Nicole took it upon herself to take over and say, we all about luxury, we inspire luxury, we sell luxury, we all about greatness. And in the confessional, I Nikki can tell that whenever there's a time for Jamisha to shine, Nicole will take the spotlight without hesitation. She loves the spotlight, but she wishes that Jamisha would fight for the spotlight more because Jamisha, she has that passion personality, but I think she does dims it because Nicole has that out of the box, loud personality that makes her sing. You know what I'm saying? She walks in and everybody sees her. The way that Nicole has been killing it with the fashions, oh yes, I will agree. So then they talk about Chris and his contract. Chris is Jaquitta's husband. He's also the content creator. He provides all of the photography, all of the pictures to sell the homes. And apparently they need a more established contract for him to know he's a pivotal part of the company. But there haven't been any contact since the contract conversation. And apparently he was supposed to have been working for this event, but he was booked for another gig. Across town, Chris is taking photos of another real estate agent for another company, keeping his options open. And that seems to be a problem because Chris and Nicole tends to battle when it comes to being creative, but they tend to come up with the best things while going back and forth. And you know, he just wants to be more of he wants to have an important role in the company, which he does. But it got annoyed the way that Chris was complaining about how they hadn't called him to set up a meeting to talk about the contract. But I'm looking at him, why aren't you calling them? If you got space in your time, you can go up to the office and talk about it with them. You know they're busy, but if you have free time, you can try to meet them halfway. Then Nicole adds, I'm tired of money being taken on my account. So payroll, it always goes out like clockwork every 2 weeks. So apparently Chris has been getting paid without him actually doing any work, which is why she told Jaquita in the second episode, you cannot do any other work in any other firm and still get paid without doing no work. So that's a bonus, but that's also an advantage that Chris have, and that's not cool. Because I'm like, there's no way. This man is on payroll and he's getting paid for a job he still haven't done. He's still getting paid for jobs he hasn't completed. Oh, that ain't gonna work for me. So you're gonna have to get that contract established and let him know unless you do work, you're not getting paid. So having your direct deposit being set up and you getting money getting paid to you when you haven't done no work recently, that ain't gonna work. So now they're talking to Caramel. They're happy that she's around, and they admitted they have not tried to get to know her because they pretty much talking about her first introduction and that it did not make it known for them that she wanted to be around, like her presence wasn't clear enough or welcoming enough for them to want to talk to her. But I feel like, are y'all even inviting to talk to? Sometimes people have a hard time inviting themselves in when you got people with loud personalities, passionate personalities. It's kind of hard to get that word in. But Jamisha made a comment how Caramel was like Lakeisha's accessory. But I'm like, why would you say that? Well, I'm happy you admitted you spoke out of annoyance, you spoke out of anger or whatever you want to call it and didn't give her a fair chance. I'm happy you admitted that. But it's crazy how y'all just really have not taken a liking to her from one introduction. And Auntie Nikki said, you don't talk, you don't say nothing. But it's kind of like, have y'all said something? Did y'all walk up to her and say, hey, how you doing? I'm this, I'm that, I'm so-and-so. Like, you can't just, like, expect for her to do it. She's the one coming in getting to know y'all. Y'all should return the favor. But apparently, what let them have a sour note, a sour taste to Caramel was when it was around the time Lakeisha's mother had recently passed. So she was grieving. She brought her girlfriend around when they were all trying to give her comfort. And Lakeisha's ex-girlfriend kept calling her. So Caramel's getting upset. She's arguing with Lakeisha, and they're getting a bad impression because you're arguing with my cousin, my sister, my niece about an ex right when her mother just died. This is what you arguing with her about? So they didn't like that. And Nicole said, yeah, that's what everybody else felt. They felt like the way you guys handled the situation with your ex and her arguing with you, it did not give us that impression we should get to know her. We just didn't like her from that point. And that made Keisha feel like, oh damn. Y'all was having conversations about this and nobody told me. So she's feeling a bit blindsided, feel like it's a bit of an ambush because this was supposed to be about getting back into the groove of bringing Keisha along, talking about the house, talking about what plans her and Caramel have for the future. And y'all too busy talking about how y'all didn't like Caramel the way that she was introduced when Keisha's mother died, which they had no clue you guys were feeling this way about. That was kind of interesting and a bit weird and a bit rude. And in my mind, I'm looking at Lakeisha, I'm like, why isn't she saying nothing? But I think that Lakeisha probably still don't know where her place is in the family. She probably thinks she could defend herself and tell her sister, tell her cousin, tell her aunt, wait, hold up. Can we table this for another day? Because I didn't know y'all felt like this when y'all met her. And it's not what I want us to reconnect on. So can we table this? Like, first of all, whatever happened between that time, it was not her fault. She didn't do nothing wrong. I will explain things in a different way, but I don't like the way y'all coming at her or me. I wish she could have said it, but I don't think she felt like she had a place to do it. I really don't think she felt like she had a place, and it did make Caramel uncomfortable. Y'all just coming at her how y'all don't like her, and that was rude. But again, moving on. So we got Quita. She is on a girls trip in Mexico, having fun. Chris is at home on daddy daycare. He has no problem hanging out with his son because he enjoys spending time with his son. He did a chance to experience this with his father because his father's been incarcerated most of his life. But he does know that his son is a mama's boy and he has no problem with it. He wouldn't have it any other way. So Jaquia's having a fun time in Mexico. She went to a tequila dispensary. She don't feel no mom guilt, no mom shame. She's having her best life. I applaud Quita for separating, wanting to make sure she has time for herself, time to be a wife, and time to be a mother. Love it. He still has not heard from Nicole or Misha about the contract, and Quita is like, I thought we were going to figure this out when I come back and talk about setting up a time for next week. But he's just ready to get the ball rolling and start his own company. You know what I'm saying? He's always wearing his photography sweatshirts to get his business name out there, promoting, marketing. And Jaquita was like, I wish my husband would not work on his emotions because he doesn't make good decisions when he's off on his emotions. And apparently, she don't want to rock the boat with how the income has been coming in because they both are working. They both are bringing in the money to pay the bills. If he wanted to stop ship and go do something else that doesn't have a guarantee he's going to make the same amount of money he's been making while working for the Braden Group, she said, oh, no, ma'am. We're not going to do that. You're going to keep on working. You're going to keep on getting that check because we got bills. Chris said in the confessional, Quita is a worry word. They can have $1 million in their account and she'll still worry about where the money's going to come in. Absolutely I am. You ain't about to leave this all on me. And you're not about to just be rash about it and not make a wise decision and actually get a clarity on it and not just go off of your emotions. So how about you put a pause on that? And like I said, don't wait on them. If you're not busy, go up into them and call them and tell them to talk. Because going off your emotions, it doesn't look good. And she ain't about to have you be all up in your emotions. It's going to affect the money coming in the house. But moving on from there. Small scene with Misha. She was finishing some things at the house. Her husband comes in. He's about to go upstairs to the studio to practice because he's also a musician and working as a real estate agent as well. And raising 3 kids is a lot of work, but it's a sacrifice. You want to do what's best for your family. Then we have Keisha. Keisha is checking out a home for her girlfriend, Caramel. It was a gorgeous home. Had a pool, 5 bedrooms. Very, very, very nice house. They want to buy a first home because their lease is up. And it's a big step. I mean, they're talking marriage. They're talking combining their children because Keisha has a 20-year-old son. And I think that Caramel has a daughter as well. Getting back to Lakeisha's traditional, non-traditional values. She doesn't do things traditional. And in her background, when she did have her son at 20, she had him with a very good friend of hers. And they turned out they weren't really good in a relationship, but they worked better as friends and as co-parents. And that's something that she discovered within herself about when she was young. She both had liked and was attracted to both girls and boys. And when it came down to announcing her sexuality to her family, she really didn't think it was that big of a deal to announce it. It wasn't like that, ooh, you know what I'm saying? So I'm happy to hear that background about Lakeisha. Then we talk about what happened at brunch. It caught Cameron off guard because I thought it was obtaining more knowledge in the real estate field, but then it's about the assumption they had about me when we first met. But do they know the whole story? No, they don't know the whole story. The story is Lakeisha was out and about being single, but she thought she could still carry on a friendship with her ex. So when Caramel came along, she put boundaries up because of what she dealt with in her last relationship that she would not tolerate in this relationship. And Lakeisha didn't accept those boundaries. She did not abide by them. She did not respect them. And then it led to an argument right around the time that Lakeisha's mom had passed. So pretty much, the assumption that they were thinking about what Caramel did to her when less than 48 hours after her mother passed away, it was something that Keisha couldn't handle. It wasn't Caramel, it was what she was doing in her relationship. So yeah, just like it is. Keisha thought she can carry on a relationship with her ex, probably thought that they can still call each other the same, hang out with each other the same, probably not knowing that the ex was probably figuring out how to get back together with her. And Keisha didn't see the signs. She just thought it was just, how her exes was. This is how her ex behaves. And Caramel could read between that and be like, girl, she's trying to get back together with you. And I already told you I don't like that. So that's the issue, and that's what Keisha needs to get addressed. So she was quiet, didn't like it. She's going to send him a message to get it straightened out. Cool. Nicole has her grandmother come because she loves hanging out with her grandmother, but she never really learned how to cook. And she never learned how to cook cabbage. So that's what she wants her daughter to experience with her grandmother, so it's something can pass down from the next generation to the next generation with all these different traditions. And her grandmother has never been a vocal person to express how much she loves you, but she does in so many ways where you can feel the love. So now she's talking to her grandmother about wanting to adopt. And she do want to have more children. Then we get to the grandmother's story. Grandmother Oscarine was adopted. Her mother gave her away when she was just 5 months old. That's so sad. But she was blessed to have 2 people who loved her with all her hearts, who provided that love and care for her. So that's why she wants to trickle down to generation of blessing her kids, showing them the love, showing them the way to take care of themselves, be independent, be financially independent, show that love that she had growing up. And that's why Nicole is able to resonate with her grandmother of how someone could think to love a baby at 5 months old that's not theirs, but wanted it to be theirs. They treated her like they were their own. It's a beautiful thing. And wanted to can afford to give a life to someone that they can, So having that sit down with her grandmother, discuss the plans of developing this land. And she said she has somebody listening to other people. She's listening to her cousin and, not selling her property just yet. Just wanted to make sure that her place is being heard and that she knows where her grandmother is now. So now that grandmother Oscarine told Nicole where she's at with Jamisha Development's land, now she can be comfortable moving forward. It didn't look like a backstabbing, but it did look like Nicole didn't believe Jamisha, that she got the okay from grandmother Oscarine. Like Jamisha only heard one thing but didn't hear the whole thing. So now that Nicole heard the whole thing from Oscarine, now that she can be comfortable being on board with developing this land. So moving on from there, we got the last scene. It's Misha. Her husband's about to perform. And how did they meet? They met while he was on stage being a musician. And she loves it. Loves seeing him in his element. Loves seeing him sing. She's so happy being a fangirl. Loving to support her man. Nicole came in looking fabulous. I love Nicole's fur coats, her little carpet shag, oversized coat she be wearing. It be looking just fabulous for me. So Quia talks about she received a message while she was on vacation. And she's like, what did I do? I'm not involved in this. It was Keisha setting the record straight of why you guys didn't like Caramel when y'all first met her. It was a long message that she sent. And it was like what y'all thought y'all felt about Caramel. It wasn't what it was. It was me. And I didn't like the way y'all handled it at the brunch. So let's move forward because this would have been about a clean slate. But obviously, y'all not moving forward. Y'all bringing up things that she wasn't even aware of. So yeah, Keisha does have a right to say, how come y'all never told me this, how it made y'all feel? Y'all didn't say nothing to me. So apparently, Nicole wanted to single out Auntie Nikki because she was the one who felt the most about Caramel and how she didn't like the way she came off. And she said her energy was weird, but I feel like just because she was quiet, I don't know. Being quiet doesn't mean she doesn't have a personality. And I feel like you guys are a bit intrusive. You guys are a lot. So I think that you need to look at the energy you're giving off. Because if you're not inviting, you're not offering up a space for someone to talk to you or approach you, they can probably feel like they don't want to say nothing. Someone can probably feel like they want to be quiet and not be there and not be inviting. But if you want to bring them out, you got to reach out and say something. So it's to be continued, which is the episode I recently need to watch. So that way I can get the 4th episode review up. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. So the drama is kicking up. I like the show. It's a fresh, new vibe that I like. Let's hope that it doesn't get terrorized based off of them putting their family business out there on the streets and they got people commenting, and I hope it doesn't drive a wedge between them. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.